let's dive into these steps to listening more deeply to your body and also starting to untangle your relationship with food and alcohol.
Yeah.
Because you can just really swap out the words.
Yes.
So the first step is to untangle. And I highly recommend that if you're taking notes that you write that word down, untangle. The reason being is that our eating behaviors are driven by our mind, our emotions, our limiting beliefs, and our past experiences. So if you've ever said to yourself, I know what I should be eating, I'm just not doing it, this is why. It's because your mind, your emotions, your beliefs, and past experiences are interfering with your relationship with food. So, in order to truly heal your relationship with food and even really connect to yourself on a true, authentic, aligned level, we've got to do untangling. We've got to clear the clutter, sort of like static on a radio station. It's not really easy to hear the music or what someone's saying when there's so much gunk in the way. And that's what your mind, emotions, limiting beliefs, and past experiences do. So we work to clear that out so that you are a clear vessel, you can hear more clearly, and then therefore follow through on the guidance you're receiving. Mm-hmm. And this process of untangling is at the core of the work that I do with my clients. It's honestly what I love doing so much. I could do it all day, every day. It's just really a strength of mine, helping people untangle this. Mm-hmm. But if we were to start together here today, which I definitely want to do, is that we would start by taking a look at what I call your eating dictators. So these are the things where you lose your power. These are the things that start running interference in your relationship with food. And honestly, your relationship with a lot of things, but we'll just focus on food and alcohol for now. But these dictators are where you override what is true and authentic for yourself and sort of become a victim, quite honest. So one example of an eating dictator, and this is very common, especially for the women that we work with and everyone here, is time. Mm. So if you've ever said, I don't have enough time to eat, that is an example of when you have become a slave to the clock. Mm-hmm. I've also seen and heard where you feel hungry and then you look at the clock and you realize it's not time to eat yet. Mm-hmm. So instead of actually nourishing yourself, you'll push off eating to the point where when you finally eat, you're starving. Yeah. And you could eat your arm and your child and everything in sight. Yes. Another example of when you are a slave to the clock. Another example of an eating dictator is actually other people and other people's influence on us. So how many times have you given away your power or eaten something that you didn't really want to eat because everyone else was doing it or they just expected you to eat it? This tends to happen a lot in family dynamics, relationships, friendships, et cetera, et cetera. So other people in our relationships can definitely become eating dictators. Mm, yes. So from there, there's more eating dictators, but those are the two most common, the time and other people. These are examples of where we lose ourselves, where we sort of give over to the clock, or we give over to our schedule, or we give over to these people, and we're not even taking into account what we need, what we want. And essentially what we're saying is, I don't have value. I don't have enough value or worth to actually create a schedule that aligns with when I need to be physically nourished. Yeah. So we start reclaiming our power back from these eating dictators by unhooking and untangling from them so that you can eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. This also supports an untangling of our emotional hunger, so we can start to understand when you're physically hungry and when you're actually emotionally hungry, and how to start to feed yourself, like soothing and comforting things that we need to learn how to do with ourselves intrinsically and not use food as a replacement for those things.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear, or offer to the group, what are some eating dictators that are most present in your life? Is it time? Is it other people? Feel free to drop it in the comments below. But, does any of these eating dictators resonate with you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure, other people, especially when I was in an office, I would bring my lunch or have the best of intention, and then someone else would want to go somewhere and they would either want company and I felt obligated to keep them company, or they were having a bad day and they wanted pizza. And even though I knew they didn't need pizza and I didn't need pizza, I felt bad for them. Or, we always had things that got delivered to the office, and like so often it was just like, oh, well, there's food here, I'm supposed to eat it, right? And there's part of me that says, well, you don't want it to go to waste. But then the other part, then there's another voice that also says, well, everyone else is eating, so you want some of that too. Like I remember even being places watching people eat and almost just getting like jealous that they're eating and I'm not. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what is wrong with me? I'm not like a starving, you know, person. Why am I so jealous of that other person eating? I already had my breakfast. Why am I watching them eat their yogurt and like feeling jealous?
Yeah. Yeah. A great example of emotional hunger, right? When we recognize that we're not physically hungry, we still are drawn, attached, desiring, really yearning for food. And that's a really great opportunity to get curious. What's really going on here? What am I really hungry for? And start to do the work to untangle.
Yeah, I love that. Well, um we just have a lot of agreement happening in the comments. So I think that we can all resonate though with at some point eating when we are not hungry and when we do not need it, or wanting um you know wanting something that is not nourishing to us. So
Mhm.
yeah, thank you for like spelling that out though, because it's so important. We have also like feeling like eating at work too, like snacking all day at work is a big
Mhm.
thing. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's where, the untanglement really starts to come in. So we can get underneath like what's really going on here. Because honestly, food is everywhere. If we
Yeah.
really think about it, it's not just because food's in the office. It's not just because you're working from home, during these times. It's because there are roots that have been not weeded out, and they are causing growth and compulsion with food. And we need to pull them out so that food is no different than water or oxygen, or yoga, or, like just
Yeah.
starting to have a healthier relationship and association with food.
Yeah. It's